Hi and welcome to this instructional video all about to do your element table, which is one of the last pieces of evidence for your Essential Skills IT portfolio. If you're doing this, you're very near the end, so well done. Maybe only a couple of small pieces of work to do after this, and you're done. What this is a summary of the ICT sources that you used, where you searched for things on the internet. And if you did level 2, it's also a summary of the book or magazine that you use. So there's not much, in a way, there's not much new work involved here. It's just a summary of work you've done already. So it's all in one place and a summary of what you've done in the early part of the portfolio. So you can see the headings here. By the way, you can download a copy of this element table from Moodle. And when you do and open it up, this is what you see. And don't forget to save it back into your Essential Skills IT portfolio. Otherwise, you probably won't be able to find it next week if you need to work on it again. So you see the headings of the columns. In the first column, you're going to have an example of the piece of work that you used, what you found on the internet or from the book. In the second column, the website that you found it. The third column, what you typed into Google to find it. Fourth column is why you feel you needed it. And the fifth column is about permissions, who you'd have to ask if you wanted to use this professionally, really. So let me take you through an example. I'm looking back through my Essential Skills IT portfolio now, and at my first ICT source, the first time that I found anything on the internet, and it was in my PowerPoint presentation, and I used a picture like that. So I copy and paste that in there. You can get that from your PowerPoint and paste it in. This is the thing I actually used as my evidence of my first ICT source, not just any of the pictures in my PowerPoint, but the one I actually used as evidence for my ICT source. So the whole of this first column here is going to be really a summary of a sheet you should be able to find in your portfolio, which is ITC source 1. And this whole of this first column here is just a summary of that. So I'm looking then back in my portfolio at that piece of evidence, at the internet site where I actually found this piece of where I actually found this picture, and it was at a website called edcalendar.com. So I put that in there. If you remember, when you look back through your portfolio, you will find in the evidence for finding something on the internet, you will have had to look at more than one website, which is part of the evidence, but you just put down the actual picture that you actually found and used in the end, and the internet site where you found it. You don't, at this point, as this is only a summary table, you don't talk about images you didn't use, websites you looked at but didn't use anything from them. It's just the picture you used and the site it came from. Also, if you look back at that piece of evidence, the ICT source 1, you'll also be able to very quickly see what it was you typed into Google to find it. In this case, I typed in people searching the internet to find that picture. Again, all this is really, it's nothing new here, it's just you're really just summarising that piece of evidence, ITC source 1, where you found a picture. In the fourth column, explanation of why I needed this. This is something it won't be necessarily something you typed into that previous piece of evidence, so you will have to come up with that now. For example, I wanted a suitable image to use on the first slide of my presentation. My guide is about internet searching for advanced users, so that explains why I chose that picture there of the people all gathered around the laptop. And then the final column is called permissions. Now there's a list here of sentences, part sentences that you could use here. You can see if you read them there, all of the sort of saying things like, it's something you created yourself, so I don't need permission. Or this one here, if I were to publish my work, I would have to ask permission from, and then the name of the person that owns the picture. Because of copyright laws. And there's also a couple of part sentences there about how trustworthy the website is. But the one I really want here is this second one for this particular example. If I were to publish my work, I would have to ask permission from, and then the name of the website where I got it from, really. So that's what I'd be typing there. If I were to publish my work, I would have to ask permission from edcalendar.com due to copyright laws, because as you can see over here, they're the people that actually that I took the picture from. So you can see what it is. It's actually mostly just a summary of that ICT source number 1 that you did earlier in the year, earlier in the portfolio. Particularly these first 3 boxes here. which is really just taken from that. And then you have to come up with an explanation of why you wanted it and something about permissions. You then, you've done that first one. You have, of course, used 2 ICT sources in your Essential Skills portfolio. One in Activity 1, one in Activity 2. So in this second column, you're going to describe that one. The second one, that is. So list here, the first column will go an example of the picture you used, or the information that you used. If you remember, the Activity 2 was the spreadsheet, and the evidence that you had of finding information on the internet was actually finding how many centimeters there were in an inch. So I'm just making that clear here, that the information I found in the second assignment, the information I found on the internet, was just that figure 2.54, which I used to convert from the inches into centimeters. Second column, website name and address, where I found it. Again, you should just be able to pick this straight out of previous evidence. I found it on an internet site called easyconversion.com. You probably looked at more than one internet site to find that number to make sure that the number was correct. You just need to mention one of those sites. Obviously, it's going to be the same number from each site, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. I've chosen easyconversion.com. Again, just looking back at my previous work there to find out which site, just one of the sites I looked at. What I typed into Google in the third column, how many centimeters are in an inch. Explanation of why I wanted it. In my height spreadsheet, I needed to convert inches into centimeters, so I needed to know exactly how many centimeters are in an inch. In the final column then, permissions. Well, obviously, the number 2.54 doesn't belong to anybody, so it's not going to be about copyright this time like it was for the picture up here. For that, in that case, you need to just mention the fact that you looked at more than one website to ensure accuracy. So I looked at 3 different websites and got the same answer, so I'm very confident that this is the correct number to use. Now, if you're doing level 1, that is your element table completed. So you save it, print it out, and let me have it to have a look at it and give you some feedback about it. If you're doing level 2, you also have to add a row on the next page about the non-IC source that you used. But if you're just doing level 1, then you can actually you can stop the video right now and actually go on and have a go at the element table. But if you're doing level 2, then you have to stick with us. So hope that's been of help to you, level 1 candidates, and go and have a go. So level 2 candidates, you need to add a row about the non-ICT source that you used. That's the book, the magazine, the leaflet. So that'll be something like, in the first column, a photo or scan of the book or magazine that you used. Then in the second column, the name of the book or the magazine that you used and the author. So it's very clear what the book was that you used or the magazine that you used. If it's a magazine, give the month and the year and the name of the magazine, so it couldn't possibly be confused with any other magazine. Now in the third column, it's quite easy, because third column, remember, is detail of what I typed into Google to get the website. Well, this is the non-ITC source, or non-ICT source, so you didn't use Google, so in that it just goes NA for not applicable. The third column is explanation of why you needed it. So it'll be something along the lines of, I needed this information about something, so I looked at several books and found the information I needed, etc. As you're a level 2 candidate, I'm not going to give you the exact words for that one, you need to come up with that one yourself. And then the final column, you'll put something about permission. So again, it'll be something like, if I were to use this information in a real document, I would have to get permission from, and so on and so forth. So you need to, as a level 2 student, you need to come up with all that information yourself. You also need to do this as well, just like the level 1 students too. But when you've done all that, you'll have finished your element table, and you're very near the end of the portfolio. So keep going. Finish your element table today. Let me have a look at it for feedback, and then you can get on with the next task.